Shalom, holy initiates and holy adepts. Welcome to my holy channel. I am the Chief Magician of Mystery Babylon, and I will be your Grand Master for this holy secret teaching. Now, before I begin, a few preliminary remarks need to be given. So first, for this teaching, I would say that there are two major prerequisites. One, that you have seen my video that I recently did, which is entitled High Holy Mashiach Tikkun for Mashiach Israel. In this video, I give a rather detailed overview demonstrating how Mashiach Israel principally comes from the Sitra Achra and is enveloped by the Sitra Achra. And this is very momentous to understand the higher holy mysteries. Also, there is a link below in the description box to a very well-written scholarly paper on much of what we'll be talking about in this holy secret teaching. But before you access that link and read it, so my suggestion is that before you watch the entirety of this video, that you go and read this scholarly paper on the Kabbalah. Now, but before you do, let me finish some of my preliminary remarks. So we need to understand that within our holy secret society, collectively, we are made up of initiates, adepts, masters, and grandmasters. And quintessentially, we are mystics and spiritualists, actual, real Kabbalists in every sense of the word. But however, we also have scholars. We have many Jewish Israeli scholars on the Kabbalah. These are professors and students at major leading universities, mostly in Israel and some here in the US. And they're scholars. Now, the vast majority of these scholars, they're not spiritual, they're not mystical, and they're most definitely not initiated. They're just that, scholars. Now, some of these scholars qualify to be ridiculously highly initiated adepts and initiates, and in some cases even grandmasters, if not masters, just solely based on how highly initiated they are into our ancient principal texts, right? Perfect example is the most renowned famous scholar on the Kabbalah, Yehuda Leibs. If I didn't know any better, in fact, for all I know, this guy is a grandmaster of Israel, right? This guy has read every Jewish Kabbalistic book under the sun, as far as I'm concerned, right? And there's other scholars like him who have read a ridiculous amount of Kabbalistic books. They're well versed in the Talmud, the Tanakh, the Midrashim, and all of the Kabbalistic literature, okay? They outdo practically 9% of you listening, okay? As much of an inconvenient truth as this may be for you to hear. However, as the quintessential momentous point that I want to emphasize is that the vast majority of them are not actually fully initiated, right? Case in point is the link to the article below, right? This problem that we have is that many of these scholars are secular. It's a major problem. So case in point, the article below that I've linked to, right? This scholar is a very well-known grounded scholar on the Kabbalah. This paper, which I've read, is a very top-tier scholarly paper on the topic that he's written about, which will be the topic of this video. And he makes a lot of very brilliant points and connections, but in the midst of it all, he never actually touches on the most esoteric level of the topic at hand, because he's not fully initiated. So this is something that we need to understand. And this is where grandmasters like me come into play, because I receive divine revelation from Hashem, and I'm actually fully initiated, and I can take the matter as deep as it goes, which I will do in this video. So The good thing about the article below is that this very elite scholar on the Kabbalah, because he's a very elite scholar on the Kabbalah, ridiculously well versed, uh, he makes a lot of brilliant points and connections, right? He's getting very close to the most esoteric level of the topic at hand. Very, very close to the most esoteric levels that are involved, but never reaches them or reveals them because he's not fully initiated. So I want you to read the article below because it will help give you a much more fuller and broader understanding of what's going to be discussed in this video. It will be a great, powerful introduction and auxiliary to what I'm going to reveal in this highly esoteric teaching now. So, assuming you've read the article at this point, you've seen the video that I mentioned, which is a critical prerequisite, and hopefully it would also be very great and nice if you've seen my other videos on Mashiach or Mashiach ben Yosef, right? The more you know, the more well-grounded you are to receive and understand this very esoteric teaching that will not be presented. So, without further ado, let us begin. We're going to begin in the Torah in Sefer Vayikra in chapter 24. Now, there it reads, "There came out among the Israelites one whose mother was Israelite and whose father was Egyptian, and a fight broke out in the camp between that half-Israelite and a certain Israelite. The son of the Israelite woman pronounced the name in blasphemy, and he was brought to Musha. Now his mother's name was Shlomith, the daughter of Dibri of the tribe of Dan." Now, I'm always emphasizing how critical it is to be fluent in ancient Hebrew and Aramaic and well-versed in our ancient principal texts, both exoteric and esoteric, because without these prerequisites, you'll never be able to have a full comprehensive understanding of the text, most especially its most esoteric levels. So to draw out the most esoteric levels to this passage, we need to get deep down into the Hebrew text and parse it out and analyze it. But before we do that, let us now switch to the esoteric commentary on this passage from the Zohar. Now, in Sefer HaZohar, in Parashat Emor, and this is book 3, folio 106a, states, "And the Israelite woman's son blasphemed the name," quoting the verse in the Torah. And he asks, what is meant by blasphemed? Now, the Hebrew word there in the Hebrew is Vayikob. So what is meant by Vayikob? And Rab Abba said he surely blasphemed, as in the verse, and now he's quoting 2 Kings chapter 12 verse 10, and he bored a hole in its door, piercing that which was covered, which is now as if pierced. And his mother's name was Shlomith, the daughter of Dibri. Up to this point, the verse does not disclose his mother's name. Once it says blasphemed, he blasphemed his mother's name. Now, the Hebrew word Vayikob on one level can signify to blaspheme, but it can also may signify to bore or to pierce, right? So we find the same instance of the word in Melachim Beth, chapter 12. And so they're making the connection here through the exegetical construct of equivalent expressions. The passage goes on to state, Rab Abba said, had not the holy luminary Rab Shimon been living in the world, I would not have permission to reveal this. For permission was given to reveal this matter only to the companions among the reapers of the field. That is, those who already entered the concealed wisdom and came out in peace. May those who wish to reveal to those who do not know breathe their last. So, I really do have to emphasize at this point that what I'm going to reveal here is very, very esoteric. And in agreement with me is Hamashiach Rab Shimon Bar Yochai. Now, you need to listen very carefully. You need to incline the ear very, very well and very, very near. Because Rab Shimon Bar Yochai is saying that very, very deep esoteric wisdom is about to be revealed. It's very, very esoteric. As I'm always saying, many Jews that read these texts never come to the full understanding of these holy texts, because when the holy mysteries are revealed, they are only hinted at. They are only partially revealed in the holy text. What Rab Shimon Bar Yochai and the companions are about to reveal, they're not going to give you the full revelation. They'll give you the full revelation, but in a garment. It's partially concealed, but very fortunately, all of you have the chief magician of Mystery Babylon here to fully reveal to you what 99.9% of Jews and those who claim to be Kabbalists don't even know or have never actually penetrated, let alone the scholars of which we have just spoken of. So you need to understand, Rab Shimon is preparing you. He's saying there are some very, very powerful, very, very esoteric holy mysteries that are going to be revealed. They're so esoteric, they cannot be fully revealed. The best that they can do is hint. Because for every few handbreadths that they reveal, they conceal hundreds, if not thousands, of handbreadths. So you need to understand this. You need to be prepared, especially if you're a very ignorant and spiritually blind Jew that is watching or listening to this right now. Because if you are, you're going to be shocked at what is going to be revealed. This is why these holy mysteries have to be concealed, because the profane, the uninitiated, and the spiritually blind can't handle these truths. Most especially the spiritually blind. It's most especially the religious, spiritually blind that cannot handle or accept these very hidden truths and holy mysteries. So let us get into it. Come and see, it is written, and this son of the Israeli woman and a man of Israel strove together in the camp. We already explained this verse. Yet this man of Israel is the son of his father, Shlomo's husband, from a different wife. When the Egyptian man came into her to Shlomith at midnight, her husband returned home and realized this. He separated from her and no longer came into her. He married another woman and begot this man, who is called the man of Israel. The other man from the Egyptian is called the Israeli woman's son. He asks, if they strove here together, why mention the holy name here, and why did he curse the holy name? Yes, these are all very good questions. And the more questions we ask, the deeper we go. He answers, The man of Israel said words during the fight about the mother of the son of the Israeli woman, namely, he said that she was a whore. Immediately, the Israeli woman's son blasphemed the name as in, and he pierced a hole in the door of it. The meaning behind it is that he took the last He of the holy name, Yod He Vav He, which is Malchut, and cursed in order to defend his mother. This is the hole he pierced and mentioned the holy name explicitly. This was told to the reapers of the field. The secret of it is likewise the way of an adulterous woman. Happy is the lot of the righteous who know this matter, yet keep it hidden. Therefore it is said, debate your cause with your neighbor and do not reveal the secret of another. This secret is too deep and cannot be revealed. So again, I want to put emphasis on this statement that this secret is too deep and cannot be revealed. There's a very, very esoteric level behind these last two statements, and we're going to get back to it and I'll reveal it. But let us continue. This last He of the name Yod He Vav He was the Nukba, nourishing from two sides, Chesed and Geburah. For that reason, it took the king's weapons and executed its vengeance, as is written, bring forth him that cursed. For that reason, it is written, you shall fear every man his neighbor and his father, the fear of one's mother preceding the father's. Happy are Israel in this world and in the world to come. Okay. So now I'm going to review the most esoteric level of this verse now, or of this passage and these verses. So, right, we have to ignore what the scholars' understandings of this passage and its related literature are, right? They make a lot of connections to Yeshua, right? They link this passage with Yeshua. They link that the bastard Israelite with Yeshua, and they cross-referenced a lot of anti-Yeshua Jewish literature that has existed, like say Toldot Yeshu. Now we have to understand that there's a lot of noise, right? All of these stupid and spiritually blind Jews that are uninitiated, that are anti-Yeshua, etc., right? That's a lot of noise. All this anti-Jewish Yeshua literature, it's noise. There's a lot of noise. For the holy initiate and for the holy adept, there's a lot of noise, right? The question is, are you truly initiated? Do you truly have supernal vision? Have you truly transcended reality in every aspect? You've transcended the noise. You've looked past it. It's all noise to distract the actual holy initiate and adept. It's part of the holy obstacle course. Because the reality is that most people don't finish the race. You know that race that Grandmaster Mechabel, Apostle Shaul, spoke of? Like over 90%, if not more, of religious individuals never finish that race, never complete that race. It's an obstacle course. This is all noise. And everyone has been sucked into it and dragged into the noise. They can't look past it. They can't see past it. They haven't transcended. Now there's a great mystery here. There's a very great mystery here. We have these very advanced expositors and commentators on the Jewish side that have linked this bastard Israelite with Yeshua. Now, this is the first gate to the higher holy mysteries regarding Mashiach, right? And this is where one needs to actually be initiated and understand the esoteric constructs of the Holy Word. Yes, the bastard Israelite is Yeshua. The Jews are correct. But it doesn't end there. Now, this is where I come in. This is where grandmasters need to enter to fully reveal the holy mystery at hand. Yes, it is very true that the bastard Israelite represents Yeshua. Now, there's even been Kabbalists, they're not fully initiated Kabbalists, that have given false Kabbalistic levels to this equation, not fully understanding the equation. Now, we need to understand that we are in a holy war. We have been in a holy war for a very long time. Now, it is written in our ancient Hebrew Proverbs, I believe it's chapter 24, and it states, "By way of deception, thou shalt do war," which just happens to be the motto of the Israeli Mossad, the intelligence service of Israel, which is the greatest and most powerful and highest intelligence service in the entire world, bar none. So we are in a holy war. And the Grandmasters, the Holy Secret Society, the Holy Order of the True Illuminati, use deception to wage this holy war against the Sitra Achra. And the Mashiachim have also employed deception. And there's a lot of holy mysteries here, a lot of hidden levels that I cannot fully get into. All I will tell you, all I will say, is that the Mashiach had to employ deception. Part of that deception included his enclothement and his enclothing in the Sitra Achra. That is, he appeared to be evil. He wears evil garments, the garments of the Klipoth, the garments of the Sitra Achra, as a tactic of holy deception. Now, in the higher, more esoteric, in the highest, most esoteric, most advanced Kabbalistic books, they talk very much in detail about this holy deception, revealing very great secret holy mysteries about this holy deception. And because this topic of holy deception is so esoteric, that's why this is so esoteric. So Mashiach employed holy deception by appearing as evil. And he succeeded in deceiving so much so that he deceived the vast majority of his own people, which was part of the plan of holy deception. It had to be this way. It had to be that way. But this is a very highly complex and technical topic at hand. Very, very esoteric. But understand the basic principle of holy deception, and that Mashiach employs holy deception in the most subtle and craftiest of ways. So with that understanding, then we can begin to understand why the bastard Israelite here is indeed Yeshua. On the outside, he appears as a bastard. He appears as a bastard to every single Jew. In reality, the Holy Illuminati knows that he's not a bastard at all. It's part of the holy deception employed by Adonai. Now, do we know that this bastard Israelite is denoted as the son of the Israeli woman. The Israeli woman here, or the mother, comes to signify Shekhinah. And this is why they link the passage to the verse in Malachim Beth, where it states, and he pierced the door. Now, in the original Hebrew, the verse reads, Vayikob chor bedalto. So, bedalto is Hebrew for the door of it, which comes from the root word daleth. Daleth is Hebrew for door, and it's also the same word for the Hebrew letter Dalet. It's the full spelling of the Hebrew letter Dalet, linking it to the letter Dalet. We all know, all you initiates and adepts should absolutely know that the Hebrew letter Dalet is an esoteric reference to Shekhinah. So what they're telling you here is that this caused a rupture, a piercing in Shekhinah. This Israeli woman, Shlomit, is the mystery of Shekhinah, the holy goddess. Now, what's going on here? There's an argument between the bastard Israelite and the true Israelite. These are archetypes. Now, there's an argument. The true Israelite calls the bastard Israelite, he calls him a bastard, and he calls his mother a whore. Now, we know that Yeshua's mother Miriam is also the mystery of Shekhinah, because she was an incarnation of Shekhinah. She was the goddess in the flesh. I was told that she was perfect. That she was perfect in every way, that she had no sin or stain upon her, being a full incarnation of the holy goddess. Blessed is she. Now, what do the Jews say? The Jews state that Yeshua was a bastard and that his mother was a whore, Miriam, not realizing that they are blaspheming and cursing the Mashiach, the true Mashiach, and his holy mother, who is linked entirely to the holy goddess. So when the Jews stupidly and ignorantly curse Yeshua and his mother, they are indirectly cursing the holy goddess. The implications and the ramifications are just beyond staggering. So the true Israelite man represents the synagogue. He represents the Israeli synagogue, not the church. This isn't Christianity. The true chosen ones are the Jews. We are the chosen ones. We are the highest. We are the elite. I make no apology. I don't give a damn if you feel bad. I don't give a damn if you think I'm racist, which I am. I don't give a damn if you're offended. I don't give a damn. The truth is the truth, and I don't give a damn how you feel about it. Get over it. We run the world. We're the chosen ones. It's the synagogue, not the church. The Israelite man represents the synagogue. And he represents the synagogue which has gone against Yeshua and Miriam and Christianity in general. That's the nature of the argument. Now, all of the Jews, all of the Christians that are reading this text, they read it literally. They have no understanding of this. It all goes over their head. Even the scholars. The scholars are intelligent enough to understand and know that this archetype is linked with Yeshua. but they never reached the full depth of it. Now, what happened as a result of this? Well, let us go back to the verse. Now, if you read verse 11 in the original Hebrew, it reads, Wayikob ben ha'isha ha'yizla'alethi et Hashem Waikalel. So that's Hebrew for the son of the Israeli woman blasphemed or pierced the holy name. And you could say he cursed the holy name. Now that's the literal interpretation or translation of the verse. However, we are concerned here with the most esoteric level. Now let us go back to the context. The context is, it's relaying to us the Israeli synagogue, the Jewish synagogue, cursing the bastard Israelite who represents Yeshua and his mother Miriam. Now we can read this verse. If you're fluent in Hebrew, let me provide you now the esoteric translation, the most esoteric level to the verse. If you're fluent in Hebrew, you will know this. You will see it very readily. It can be read as, and the son of the Israeli woman with the holy name was pierced, and he was cursed. This is the most esoteric level. Now we understand what's going on. As a result of the disputation, on the most esoteric level, it's now telling us that the son of the Israeli woman was pierced, representing the crucifixion of the son of the holy goddess, who is Mashiach. The son of the Israeli woman is the son of the holy goddess, Shekhinah, who is Mashiach, who was pierced, crucified, alongside the holy name. And he was cursed, as it is written that he who is crucified on a tree is cursed. Or more appropriately, he who is just crucified, period, is cursed. Crucifixion happening on wood. And this is linked, this crucifixion, this piercing is linked also to blasphemy, because it occurred as a result of the blasphemy of the holy name. This is linked with the blasphemy of the holy name. The crucifixion of our true Mashiach is linked entirely with blasphemy of the holy name and the holy goddess. Absolutely. And this is why they link it to that verse in 2 Melachim saying, and the Daleth was pierced. To pierce Mashiach is to pierce the holy goddess, because they are linked inextricably. At the beginning, at the onset of this revelation, Rab Shimon Bar Yochai warns that what is about to be revealed is very esoteric, because there are two levels to the Zohar. When Rashbi and his companions are discussing this, there's no filter, there's no screen. They're discussing this fully. The Zohar is just an abridged, concealed version of the esoteric discussion between Rashbi, who is Mashiach, and the companions or disciples. He said, what's about to be revealed is very, very, very esoteric. Now, what does he say? He states, therefore it is said, debate your cause with your neighbor, and do not reveal the secret of another. The secret is too deep and cannot be revealed. The secret is that this entire passage has everything to do with Yeshua HaMashiach ben Yosef. Now, what does he say? Debate your cause with your neighbor and do not reveal the secret of another. So they're already talking about what they know. You have to understand that we're a holy secret society. I belong to that holy secret society, and throughout the generations, this holy secret society has existed since the time of Yeshua. There have been books that have been written about this. The scholars know about this. The academic institutions know about the Holy Secret Society because they have writings that have been discovered about the Holy Secret Society and the names of the powerful grandmasters that lead these secret societies, that run all the other secret societies in the world, which include the Luciferian secret societies for that matter. Maybe this is the first time you're hearing this. Maybe you never knew this. Well, now you know. I'm telling you this as the chief magician of Mystery Babylon. Secrets that practically nobody knows in this world. There's only a handful of people that know what I'm telling you right now. Now, the method of operation of the secret society is that we keep our beliefs and the esoteric wisdom concealed, right? Think about it like this. It's the Jews that run the world. And the Holy Secret Society is made up of the highest, most powerful, most initiated Jews. Holy Jews. The key word here is holy. Now, they live in religion. For the past, 2,000 years, they've lived in religious communities. Jew alongside Christian, Jew alongside Muslim. For the most part, Jew alongside Christian. So, what was the method of operation? The Jews who belong to the Holy Secret Society, which are only a handful, less than a handful really, the method of operation is, okay, a lot of them lived in Europe, at least the branch in Europe, as an example, the branch in Europe lived alongside the Christians. The method of operation is, okay, you're surrounded by Christians, you live in Christian communities, you can go and you can debate your Christian neighbor. You could play devil's advocate and debate your Jewish neighbor, but don't reveal the secret, right? A Jew can go and debate theology and the Mashiach with a Christian, but he's not going to tell the Christian that he belongs to the secret society and that he knows that Yeshua is indeed HaMashiach. He can go and he can play devil's advocate and discourse with other Jews about the matter, but nowhere along the line, especially to his fellow Jews, is he going to reveal that he belongs to the secret society and that he knows that Yeshua is HaMashiach. This is our method of operation. That's what is being relayed here. This secret is too deep. It cannot be revealed. Do you think that the redactors and the grandmasters and the scribes would be stupid enough to reveal that Yeshua is HaMashiach in this powerful holy text that is strictly meant for Jews and only Jews? You're talking about divine men here. But they give you tons of allusions and tons of hints. Now, I got stupid Jews that come to me and they tell me, well, I can show you this passage in the Zohar that openly, explicitly blasphemes Yeshua and even the Prophet Muhammad. Yeah, I've done videos discussing these passages in the Zohar, given their reconciliations. But let me reveal to you a great secret. These passages were purposefully inserted into the Zohar. It's part of the noise. Don't let them know what your left is doing from your right. Do you understand what I'm saying? Wink, wink, hint, hint. You have to understand the esoteric methods of operation. Now, duly note what it states that it quotes the Torah where it says, "You shall fear every man his mother and his father." The fear of one's mother preceding the fathers. Happy are Israel in this world and in the world to come. And so here we see a perfect example in the Torah where the fear of the mother precedes that of the father, showing us how the holy goddess and Shekhinah, whom we worship, is far above the Holy Father. And yet, practically nobody knows this, aside from the true reapers of the field, as the Rashbi so eloquently states. But there's another very great mystery here. He also states that the Nukba is nourished from two sides, Chesed and Geburah. It would be very silly and foolish to think that the holy goddess is only nourished from the holy domain. Because here we see a perfect example of her nourishment from the Sitra Achra, principally the archetype and root of the Sitra Achra, which is the Egyptian man. And so this was an assault on the holy goddess. And Mashiach, the bastard Israelite, is defending the honor of his mother. There's some very, very profound holy mysteries. What I'm revealing here can be considered an advanced introduction into this very esoteric matter, which I don't have the full time and space to get into, but it's more fully revealed and detailed in the much higher, more esoteric, advanced Kabbalistic texts, namely Shabbatain and Frankist texts, which will get more into detail on the holy mysteries regarding this impure sexual union between the serpent and the holy goddess. Now, let us put the finishing touch on this holy mystery. We also read in Vayikra chapter 24, beginning in verse 14, it says, "And Adonai spoke to Moshe, saying, Take the blasphemer outside the camp, and let all who are with hearing lay their hands upon his head, and let the whole community stone him. And the Israelite people speak thus, anyone who blasphemes Elohim shall bear his guilt." Now, the word that was initially used for blasphemy, for the apparent quote-unquote blasphemy of the bastard Israelite, is the Hebrew word rikob. But here, the word for blasphemy is a different Hebrew word. Here, the blasphemer is referred to as hamkalel. comes from the Hebrew word kelal, which means to curse. And in the next verse, it says, anyone who blasphemes, again, the Hebrew word there is yakalel, from the same Hebrew root, meaning to curse. So it's a different Hebrew verb that is used, kalel, as opposed to yikob. So this is the proof, in light of this esoteric context, that the individual that is being punished and stoned here is not the bastard Israelite, but somebody else. Because the bastard Israelite is associated with the word wikob, which means piercing. It's a different form of blasphemy, as opposed to the Hebrew word kelal, which is a different form of blasphemy. The secret mystery is that the blasphemy and punishment here in these verses is not in reference to the bastard Israelite, but to the true Israelite. So now we're talking about the punishment and blasphemy of the true Israelite, because he's the one who has truly blasphemed here. He blasphemed the Mashiach, not knowing that he was not a bastard, and more relevantly, he has blasphemed the holy goddess. And his punishment is very severe. This tells you that all those Jews that should have known better, those Jews that should know better and openly blaspheme Yeshua and Miriam, believe me, you don't want to know what their punishment is going to be. Believe me, the Torah here is speaking very, very great punishment. In fact, it goes back to what it says here in the Zohar, that the holy goddess took the king's weapons and executed her vengeance. She's going to execute her vengeance upon some of her own children, namely Jews, who have been really stupid, really retarded and stupid in what they have done. So, at this point, at this point, now that you have hopefully read that article and now listen to my entire disquisition and teaching, I'm hoping that you can see why we grandmasters are far superior to even the most well-studied scholar, academic scholar. I'm hoping that you'll be able to see the deficiencies in these very elite scholars. And what separates us from them. I have truly revealed some very esoteric, powerful keys in this teaching. Very, very powerful. Shalom. Wassalam.